Yo guys, welcome back to Draw with the Rain. I know it's been a while and I've been a little inconsistent and I'm sorry about that. I'm trying my hardest to fix that. So I spent some time thinking about what it is I can do to keep people entertained while drawing. And I know a lot of people like my time drawings, and I figured I'll do some reaction videos while doing some time drawings, and that way you can like hear my thoughts on stuff. I'm always watching documentaries on YouTube, so why not just like while drawing, watching documentaries, record myself and put them out, you know what I mean? Like, so for the first segment of welcome of Drawing with the Rain, I want to do a reaction video to this the King Von documentary by what's his name? Trap Lord Ross. Yeah, Trap Lord Ross, that's his name. Yeah, his documentary was like extremely in depth. Actually, I think it's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen him do, cause I don't know, like the level of detail. I don't know if anyone has seen it yet, but as of right now, there's like 5.8 million views on this documentary, and I'm gonna break it up into 3 quick segments, well, not quick, cause it's 3 hours long, but it's so detailed, the way how he goes through like the tweets, the timelines and everything. I'm like, yo, how long did it take you to find all of this? Like, this level of journalism and research is just like, the investigation is ridiculous. Like, tips off to this guy. I've been watching Trap Lord for years, but I don't really share my YouTube history. If you heard that, that's Jax. I know you guys remember Jax. He's fighting with a pillow. I don't know, but but yeah. So I'm gonna just get right into it. Like I said, I'm gonna break it up into 3 sections, maybe an hour each, and then I'm gonna do 2 sections of a reaction to someone else's reaction. I'm not gonna say who yet, but he's like this up and coming YouTuber, and I think he's really funny. And he did a reaction video to the same documentary, but he broke it up into 2 parts. So I'm gonna do a reaction to his video as well, and then that's gonna be a 5-part series or whatever, and it'll be the same time drawing. So I'm gonna just dive right into it.
Warning, this video contains themes of violence, death, and gang activity. This video is for educational and documentary purposes only. This video is not intending to incite or encourage illegal behavior in any way. Every effort has been made to remove any content which violates YouTube's community guidelines. If you'd like to see an uncut version of this video with everything that I can't show you on YouTube, head on over to patreon.com/traplawross. Supporters of the channel
I'm gonna let
also
this
get
go
access
so
to my
that,
recent
he
vlogs
can
with academics and
get his
Adam22,
props,
as well as my old deleted King Von videos, and supporters on the $5 tier will also have access to my exclusive 4-part Patreon series where I break down real crimes caught on camera which I could never show you on YouTube. But if you don't want any of that, just sit back, enjoy the video, and hit that subscribe button. Ever since the 1980s, gangster rap has been one of hip-hop's most fascinating subgenres. From the mean streets of gang-infested Los Angeles that were brought to life by early gangster rap pioneers like Ice Cube and NWA, to Tupac and Suge Knight taking over the music game with vivid tales of gang-affiliated rappers who would bully their way into the music industry. And then you have legends like Jay-Z and 50 Cent, whose tales of life in the streets as gangsters made them millionaires hundreds of times over. For decades now, rap fans have been looking for the realest artists, whose lyrics paint the picture of a real life of crime that isn't embellished or fabricated. But when it comes to rappers who truly keep it real, the Chicago drill scene has dominated for the last decade. First popularized by Chief Keef, the Chicago drill wave was characterized by rappers that grew up in the most dangerous blocks in America.
I usually like to have my timer going but I feel like the ticking sound might annoy some of y'all. Might not go too good, but let me. Alright.
America, with these up-and-coming artists rapping plainly and honestly about what they experienced growing up. Shootings on the block, disrespecting dead enemies, and constantly being chased by the police. Chicago drill rappers took gangster rap to raw new heights, where the stories behind the music could be matched up with the local news reports on the latest homicides. However, what happens when the people doing the killing start making the music too? Because in the years after Chief Keef popularized the violent stories of Chicago gang life, one of those gangsters killing people in the streets picked up a microphone too.
You don't think people been doing this for a while though? Like, you think King Von is the first rapper to be a real killer? Like, I don't know. Maybe there's, but hey.
And started rapping in the first person from the perspective of the actual killer. King Von had a reputation in Chicago as a fearless killer before he'd even started rapping, and it's widely believed, based on the statements he made in his own songs, that Von himself could have killed as many as 7 people in his career as a gangbanger, with more murders even taking place after he got rich and famous, with it being rumoured that Von used his money and influence from the rap game to have old enemies in Chicago killed.
But how you know that though? I mean, like I said, he did a really good research, but think about it, like, how accurate is all that information that you gathered too? Because at the end of the day, you weren't really there.
And going on a journey which, in my opinion, takes him far beyond a street player who had to kill to survive in the mean streets of Chicago, because if King Von's tweets are anything to go by, he simply loved killing people. And the sheer amount of people that King Von allegedly played a role in killing has led to intense speculation as to whether he was a full-blown serial killer. A title which King Von's enemies even said that him and his friends took personal pride in. Now, the FBI defines a serial killer as a person who kills over 3 people with time spans in between them of more than a month. Furthermore, serial killers tend to have an element of psychological gratification which plays a role in the motive for their murders. The FBI also state that a serial killer might seek various kinds of gratification through their killings, such as anger, thrill-seeking, financial gain, or simply for attention. I personally believe that over the course of his career, King Von demonstrated all of these characteristics and can indeed be classified as a serial killer. King Von frequently exhibited behaviour in public that conformed with these rules, tweeting regularly about his desire to kill,
man, I'm just trying to kill,
bragging about having
put a pretty op in the morgue, call that Drop Dead Gorgeous. Alright, that's funny.
Committed specific murders in his music, which attracted him international attention and Billboard charting songs, with his drill anthems about murdering rivals making him a rich man.
Yo, imagine that though, knowing how many bodies you took and you got a photo shoot like this and you just smiling holding that money and you just thinking how many people you probably off. That's kind of crazy though, right?
With millions in his bank account. The FBI also point out another characteristic of serial killers, specifically that their victims may all have something in common. For example, a demographic profile, appearance, gender, or race. And it would appear that King Von only killed young black men and women from the community he lived in. These were all people just like him, being born into a rundown part of Chicago and growing up with a lot of disadvantages. All that really separated Von from his victims were the fact that they were from a rival territory, and he believed that nobody would miss them. King Von has officially been implicated in 4 murders, 2 where he was suspected of being involved.
Well, I mean, it probably was live or be killed, you know what I mean? So maybe that he didn't just think that, oh, nobody gonna miss them or nothing, but maybe he was just saying, yo, it's me or you, like, one of us gotta go. You trying to kill me, I'm gonna kill you.
But the police didn't have enough evidence to charge, and one case where he narrowly received a not guilty verdict after a key witness disappeared and a co-defendant implicated himself. Another that he's accused of organising with 5 of his closest childhood friends, the shooting of rival rapper FBG Duck in broad daylight at...
Hey, yo, that was crazy. Yo, the way they gunned down Duck was crazy.
a busy shopping district Von will never face justice for due to him losing his life only months before the feds would swoop in and arrest all 5 of his close friends. This particular murder would go down as one of the most brazen assassinations carried out in Chicago since the days of Al Capone. But in total, there's over 10 murders of which King Von has been connected to over the years. Nobody has looked into all of them in great detail until now. So today, we're going to take a closer look at the man, his past, and his career to find out once and
Yo, when he said great detail, folks, he ain't lying. Like, he's not lying.
for all if King Von really was the first serial killer in hip-hop history.
He was in jail for 2 murders?
Yeah, 1 murder and 2 attempts.
4 shooters and a hail of bullets.
All of them was scatterbound. All of them was scatterbound.
Police found several shell casings in this parking lot.
King Von was bloodthirsty. He loved death. He loved killing.
I got a lot of questions. Just free. How many I think?
King Von had a insatiable obsession with murder and violence.
The shooting leaves 1 person dead. 4.
I don't recall seeing the intro like this in the first video. I don't know if you know, but it got taken down in like a day or 2, and then it got re-uploaded.
Others injured.
Me? You hate? I know you. You ain't no me. Are you?
King Von probably would have been considered like a serial killer.
They labeled the man a serial killer. Them.
King Von, real name Davon Bennett, was born on August 9, 1994 in Chicago, Illinois, growing up on West 78th and South Hermitage in an area known as Killer Ward, an area mainly affiliated with the Chicago gang.
You read the name of that? What? That's like speaking it into being, yo, Killer Ward. Who named it that, bro?
The Gangster Disciples, and the Black Peace Stones. Von would attend Barton Elementary School in the area, but despite starting life as a fairly normal kid in Chicago, he would be subjected to the influence of gangbanging in his family home from a young age. His father was Walter E. Bennett, aka Silk, a well-known street dude from nearby Ada Park. Von was mainly raised by his mother, as his father was in and out of jail throughout his childhood. But Von's father was apparently a legend in the streets, with ties to the street gang, the Black Disciples. However, much like Von, despite the fearsome reputation he'd earned in the streets, it would ultimately be this proximity to gang life that would lead to his father's demise, as King Von's dad Silk was shot dead when Von was only 11 years old, apparently being targeted by a sniper outside of a skating rink, according to an interview with King Von's uncle.
Rest in peace, King Von. Rest in peace, Silk. That's crazy. Like, I'm with Big Bro every day. My killer's daddy with a sniper rifle. This get deep, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sniper. I hit him with a sniper rifle. Hey, at the skate rink, but you know, that's another story.
It seems clear that King Von's father Silk was remembered as a legend of the block. However, coping with the loss of his father at such a young age clearly had a negative effect on the mindset of a young King Von. He would tweet and rap in freestyles years later that he simply couldn't sleep after his father's death.
They killed my daddy. I couldn't even go to sleep.
And throughout his teenage years, he would post RIP tributes to his father on Twitter to commemorate his birthdays. Naturally, Von would follow in his father's footsteps, getting involved in local gang politics at a young age, with Von actually telling 16-shot visuals in his very first interview that he got involved in the streets in 4th grade, eventually getting his hands on guns by the time he got to high school.
You was out here toting pipes in 4th grade, like when you started?
I probably had a BB gun or something. It wasn't that hectic. Like, it ain't get. I just been, you know, in the streets. That's awesome. I just like being outside, you know.
That's a crazy lifestyle for real though. But if you're hearing my cat crying, my bad, guys. He just really want to go outside. We already went outside today, so I don't know what's going on with you. Can't have it all, yo.
One of the little boys that like sneaking out, just being outside all day, just doing bad. When the gun, all that.
Come here.
That thing come to play to like what? Yeah, like late 8th grade or 7th, 8th grade when it really got to that point where you gotta hurt somebody or somebody trying to hurt you and you gotta protect yourself.
Von would rap on the unreleased song Wait that he jumped off the porch, getting deeply involved in gang politics in 2006 when he was just 12 years old. Von would initially be a member of a local street crew affiliated with the Gangster Disciples called Killer Ward, being seen in numerous group pictures with that crew. And affiliates from the area would later post tweets suggesting that Von was indeed putting in work for this crew during his time gangbanging.
That Twitter thing, man, like, but I guess I never thought about it, but
Killer Ward, with Von himself corroborating that he was close to the members in Killerward where he was born, but making it clear that he's always been a member of the Black Disciples due to his family affiliation. Now, Vaughn would live around Killerward up to around 2008 or 9, after which he would eventually move to the infamous Parkway Gardens housing development. This housing complex is notorious for its affiliations with the Black Disciples street gang. Parkway Gardens would later be referred to by insiders as O-Block, but prior to that, it was referred to as Wick City. And here, King Von would meet many of the people who would end up having a huge influence on his life and career. People famous for their affiliation to O-Block, whether through the gang wars going on there, or through the music that had been made about the gang war. People like Boss Top, Chief Keef, T-Roy, White, Duke, BJ, Big A, Trey 5, Sherroid, J-Money, Platoon, and countless other people that played a big role in Von's life growing up. Von would also attend a new school in the area, the Hyde Park Academy, where he would attend with people from other rival territories with affiliations to the Gangster Disciples. People like FBG Duck, who would even claim in a Twitter exchange in 2014 to have plotted to beat King Von up on the school bus, and people like Lil Mark, who Von would even be seen in throwback pictures with before their feud had escalated into...
Ain't that wild though? Like, that's real wild. All these guys were like kids living together, or, you know what I mean, living on the same street, going to the same school. They all knew each other from childhood, grew up together as teens, and some of them kill each other. They all like die out. That's kind of nuts though.
To something deadly. Von and his friends started out their gangbanging careers with fistfights with the ops at school, schoolyard scuffles that would unfortunately escalate over the coming years, developing into full-blown gang war with firearms involved. Over time, a teenage Von would begin getting more and more involved in Chicago's street gang conflicts, apparently bringing guns to school as young as age 13. Chop Squad, who went to school with both Von and G Herbo, would claim that Von would even show off guns in class, with it apparently being Von himself who started the trend of teenage gangbangers in their school bringing guns to class.
Von was the type of person to bring a pole to school at 13 for. Like, that's what me and Herb was talking about. He was like, he knew it was real when Von walked up to him in school. He was like, he had flashed a pole or something. He was like, Herb knew every day from there it was up. He was like, oh, we bringing guns to school? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's on now. He's like, every day from there, everybody brought guns to school. And he's like, Von was the one to start that off.
In fact, G Herbo would even later rap about this on a collaboration with Von called FaceTime, saying that Von showed him a revolver in freshman orientation, an experience which led G Herbo to begin bringing guns to school himself too. Now, King Von was apparently out of control as a youngster. According to one story, Von actually did a shooting on prom night whilst wearing his suit, after literally tweeting out that somebody better not try him in his suit. So naturally, you can imagine, Von ended up spending a significant amount of time in trouble.
You know, now that I'm watching this over, I really like how all of this here that Trap Lore is talking about is pretty much still a prequel. I mean, as you see, he got it all sectioned off. This is all introduction stuff. Yo, this is like mad detailed. Yo. Yeah, 5.8 million views in 3 weeks. Like, he deserved that for sure.
Trouble with the law as a teenager, with large patches of his most formative years spent inside jail cells. Von went to jail for the first time around August 2010 at age 16 for armed robbery, apparently robbing someone for their car at gunpoint. Something that he would actually later refer to on his song Armed and Dangerous, saying that he was arrested on August 11th, 2 days after his 17th birthday, when he was offered 21 to 45 years in a plea deal. Von would end up spending time in boot camp, an intense military-style juvenile program, ultimately rewarding him with early release. But soon after that initial charge, Von would catch another in January 2011, ultimately spending 15 months behind bars as a juvenile, being locked up between December 2010 and March 2012. And during this time of incarceration, Von's best friend T-Roy would tweet calling for his release. Eventually, in March 2012, Von would be a free man once again, but he was only free for a matter of months, from March to November 2012. But during this time, Von would undergo a transformation, going from a gun-toting stick-up kid to a full-fledged killer after witnessing the death of one of his close friends, which, as he put it, turned him into a demon. Before we get into the first murders that King Von was allegedly involved in, I just want to take the time to consider the real reasons why he would be motivated to kill in the first place. Despite covering a lot of gangsters who are hardened killers, it's important to consider the social circumstances that need to exist for a teenage boy to start committing murders. Firstly, these areas where King Von grew up in Southside Chicago, Killer Ward and O Block, are incredibly poor and dangerous areas, with the latter even being described
one moment,
by the local
folks. Let me pause this real quick. Yo.
Newspaper as the most dangerous block in Chicago. Part of the reason why so many of these gang murders in Chicago go unsolved is due to the failure of policing in these areas. Someone like King Von grew up seeing death and destruction as a completely normal thing. And if the police never come to your area to solve crimes or deliver justice, it's easy to see why you would place more trust in street justice than in the state. Furthermore, you really have to ponder whose fault is it really that somewhere like O Block ended up being so poor and dangerous. While it's easy to blame the gangsters and killers there for cultivating a lawless environment, the city and the state politicians ultimately have failed to create the economic circumstances.
That's a good point. That's all good points.
For someone to grow up safely in these areas. Had there been better economic prospects in the hoods of Chicago, perhaps many of these young men wouldn't have been forced into a life of crime and violence. Furthermore, when it comes to the analysis of King Von's eventual transformation into what some of the...
But then again, it's also easier said than done, right?
Described as a serial killer, there's actually an argument to be made that geography may have played a part in King Von feeling like he could get away with so many murders. The 70s to the 2000s have actually been described as the golden age of serial murder, and one possible cause for this phenomenon around this period has been cited as urbanization and the concentration.
Wait, what are you saying?
Inner city phenomenon around this period has been cited as urbanization and the concentration
that makes
of inner
sense.
city living.
That makes sense. Because, I mean, before DNA and all that, yeah, that makes sense.
Actually been described as the golden age of serial murder. And one possible cause for this phenomenon around this period has been cited as urbanization and the concentration of inner city living. Some people have said that putting so many people in such close proximity ends up offering a unique level of anonymity when it comes to committing crimes in these complicated, busy and overpopulated areas. Put simply, this means that in O Block, the sheer amount of people, overlapping gang conflicts, and normalization of violence on the streets means that somebody like King Von could kill...
Yeah, I like that music though. What's that, a violin? I like that background music.
Multiple people without attracting too much attention to him personally. As sad as it is to say, in the eyes of the cops, a victim is just another casualty of the gang war rather than a specific crime that could be solved. And it's these circumstances that were the perfect conditions for a young King Von to begin killing people in his community with minimal consequences. And whilst King Von was in jail, gun violence had raged on between the Black disciples from Wick City and the rival gangster disciples from St. Lawrence and Eberhart Avenues, or STL-EBT. And during this time whilst King Von was incarcerated, a 15-year-old gangster disciple from the rival hood by the name of Tuka was murdered. Real name Shondale Gregory, Tuka was shot dead at a bus stop on the 600 block of East 63rd Street on the 12th of January 2011 at around 6:48 PM. It was around that time that a masked gunman jumped out of a vehicle, shooting Tuka several times. Tuka was hated by his rivals from the Black Disciples, and over the next decade, BDs would continue...
Yo, anybody watching this know why they really hate Tuka, bro? Or like what all that was about? Because... you've been hearing about this kid for a long time, bro. Like, a long time. And his name just won't die, bro. They just won't let him rest at all. I want to know where that all started from, bro. Like, what did this guy, Tuka, ever really do for people to be on him like that, bro?
To disrespect him on social media and in popular songs. And in honor of their fallen friend, gangster disciples from St. Lawrence and Eberhard would rename their area Tuckerville. It's never been fully revealed to the public who killed Tucker, but ever since, there has been intense speculation that a boy named O.D. Perry from Wick City might have had something to do with it. This is partly due to him being pictured regularly with a silver revolver, and the witness report from the Tucker murder stated that Tucker was actually shot with a long-barreled silver revolver. Regardless of whether or not OD was really the person who killed Tucker, that didn't really matter, because later that year, on August the 10th, 2011, in an act of retaliation, OD Perry was killed just outside Parkway Gardens. He would suffer multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the neck, at about 11:35 p.m. Just like Tuckerville, Wick City was also renamed in the memory of their fallen friend OD, O-Block, and it's believed that one of the shooters who killed OD was a female teenage shooter by the name of Jakira Barnes, or K.I. Following the murder, K.I. would begin to pose on social media with a silver revolver, similar to the one that OD was known to carry, and her rumoured involvement in this murder of a beloved O-Block member would lead to K.I. becoming a major target herself, with matters not helped by the fact that she would regularly tweet insulting OD Perry and alluding to having killed him, along with others who would openly claim that K.I. made the O, meaning that she killed OD and was the one that caused Wick City to change the name of their block.
Hold on.
Involvement in this murder of a beloved O-Block member would lead to K.I. becoming a major target herself, with matters.
What she said? Shout out to Odie for being target practice. Yeah, that's crazy.
Is not helped by the fact that she would regularly tweet insulting OD Perry and alluding to having killed him, along with others who would openly claim that K.I. made the O, meaning that she killed OD and was the one that caused Wick City to change the name of their block to O-Block. But the tragedies in O-Block were far from over. On the 18th of October 2011, another O-Block native by the name of Patoon, real name Edward Riley, would be shot dead inside O-Block after being approached by two people with firearms. Another devastating loss to the community would come when 19-year-old Sherroyd Liggins would be shot in the head and left for dead on...
Yo, bro, all these mamas, bro, like, you know how many mamas crying, bro? Yo, what you doing, cuz? You know how many mothers out there crying, bro?
February the 16th, 2012, also at O-Block. This murder was particularly notable for the fact that it was believed that Sherroyd was killed by a Tuckerville shooter by the name of Boss Trell. As the gang war in his neighborhood continued to take more and more of his friends' lives, King Von would get more and more involved, continuing to play a role in the gang war going on in Chicago's street underworld. Von later rapped on the song Don't Want to Be Me that everything changed for him in 2012, and that this is when he decided to get more active in the gang war, with Von saying specifically that the deaths of OD and Patoon completely changed his plans and led him to put...
Wait, how he said that? He said, now life got different. I done did my time. I'm chilling. 2012, if you want to be specific. I lost O and Patoon that killed me. See the change. See, that's changing the plans now. All I got. I wonder what that was. I said in jail ain't the plan now. I gotta get my hands dirty, pull that mask out. I guess I guess so.
Put on a mask and get active in the gang war. Now there's a lot of speculation about the exact murders that Von was allegedly involved in, and we might never know definitively if he was truly involved in all the violence that he was rumoured to be associated with, but the very first murder that Von was associated with took place on April the 28th, 2012, when a group of 4 men would catch a man called King Doc, real name Marlon Monroe, shooting him as he walked into a convenience store, with Doc apparently stumbling into a patch of tall weeds after the shooting, where he would pass away and lay undiscovered for hours. Doc would eventually be found dead by his 16-year-old cousin, Modell McCambry. Doc would be remembered as an original native of St. Lawrence and Eberhard Avenues, with his affiliation to the area likely the reason that the killers from O-Block would target him, despite the fact that Doc had apparently left the gang life behind him, becoming a painter to get out of the streets. Apparently hurt by the death of his cousin, Modell, that boy who discovered Doc's body, would then begin to get more involved in the gangs in the area too,
Yeah, and that's how it be. Like the pain just like cause somebody to want revenge and then revenge and revenge, and it's just crazy, bro. It's an ongoing cycle for real.
to hang around with people like KI and FBG Duck, as well as being seen on social media with guns. In fact, it's actually around this time that social media begins to play a bigger and bigger role in the gang war in Chicago. And during this time, King Von himself would become a prolific user of Twitter, beginning a flurry of activity on the platform after signing up in June 2012, and going on to tweet constantly about his activities in the streets, seemingly with no fear about incriminating himself. Von would openly claim to be drilling in the name of O.D. Perry. He would say that he was like Phineas and Ferb in the streets with his best friend and fellow O-Block shooter T.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb is me and T-Roy. T-Roy know what we finna do today. Yo, that's kind of funny. That's funny.
Roy warning ops not to diss them.
Dissing us? What you ain't got? Sense and alright, you should have stayed in school a little bit. Supposed to be saying sense, or maybe it's just a typo. Could be a typo. Give him that. And if it's my moving, my gun dancing.
Claiming to shoot people like it's nothing.
But I mean, look at that though. He getting one like, one retweet, one comment. He didn't know he was gonna be. He wasn't feeling to be King Von. He didn't know he was gonna be King Von. At this point, he just Von like a little. He just out there. He just doing his thing, right? He said, "Ever since I was young, I used to drill." You still young though. Ever since I was young, I used to drill, and what? I don't know what that is, bro. They killed a real nigga. R.I.P.
He would tweet that he's been drilling from young and even wants to kill cops too. He would say outright that he will whack people.
Oh, he's a cop killer. That's what that is. What the D for? CPDK. What the D for? If it was CPK, I'd have probably get it. But alright.
He even wants to kill cops too. He would say outright that he will whack people. He would regularly diss numerous rival hoods and gangs, and be claiming to be paranoid due to having so many people trying to kill
I'm so paranoid. I mean,
him. Von claimed on Twitter to get so enraged whenever he hears the name Tuka or St. Lawrence that his trigger finger just starts itching. But during this time that Von was tweeting openly about all the crimes that he was willing to do in the streets, these crimes would continue to play out. On August the 7th, 2012, Von would make a tweet saying that homicide is in the air and that it smells like a graveyard. Then,
yo, you hear the change in music? He went from that violin to this upbeat.
In the early hours of the morning the following day, on August the 8th, 2012, a group of guys from O-Block, rumoured to include King Von and T-Roy, would be out looking for enemies to kill. Dirty Rel, real name Terrell Joshua, an older member with affiliations to St. Lawrence, Eberhard, and Jaro City, who had actually moved out of Chicago but was back in town, would end up being shot dead and found on a sidewalk on the first block of East 56th Street in Washington Park just before 3:30 a.m. However, in this case, retaliation would come fast. As the day of August 8th, 2012 goes by, that same evening, around 11:30 p.m., King Von is out with his close friend White White, real name Tony Dunn. They would go to a convenience store together on East 63rd Street and South Martin Luther King Drive. Here,
yeah, this supposed to be that one, ain't it? I think this is that one when White got killed. But we gonna see.
Von would go inside the store whilst White waited outside. At this point, a gunman pulls up, shooting White in the back, with a police officer on the scene even returning fire and hitting the shooter, who ultimately managed to escape. White would be pronounced dead in the early hours of the morning on August the 9th, 2012. This date just so happened to be King Von's 18th birthday. This was a devastating incident for Von, who would tweet numerous times about the murder of his friend Whitey, including this one.
Bro, imagine that though. Imagine your best friend getting killed, or one of your best friends getting killed on your birthday. You're gonna remember that forever.
Where he said that he had just bought Whitey a pill and gone inside the store, only coming back outside to find a crowd surrounding his shot friend, and at first believing that Whitey would be okay. After this, Von would tweet messages saying that this killing is what led him to act out, and in the days following, he would be pledging to kill his enemies publicly. Von later elaborated on his mindset around this period. He would be pledging to...
What do you say? Tuka gang and die.
kill his enemies publicly. Von later elaborated on his mindset around this period in his song Demon, saying outright that witnessing the death of his close friend Whitey on his 18th birthday is the exact thing that turned him into a demon. And Von would rap that after—
How he said that though? How he say it? If I tell you I love you, I mean it. Whitey got killed, I seen it. I was right there, still can't believe it. Turned me to a demon. Cops asking me, I ain't seen nothing.
Friend Whitey on his 18th birthday is the exact thing that turned him into a demon. And Von would rap that after this, him and his right-hand man T-Roy would be doing hits back-to-back to avenge this tragic loss. Von would apparently be trying to kill much more ruthlessly after this, desperately wanting to get at rival shooters K.I. and Wooski, who had mocked White's death on Twitter. In September 2012, King Von and others caught K.I. on the train, apparently beating her up and mocking her on Twitter in the aftermath. Von would eventually catch up with K.I. in much more deadly circumstances, but not for a couple of years. For now, he would continue to gangbang in the streets with his O-Block brothers like T-Roy, ultimately winding up implicated in numerous murders as he continued to seek revenge for the murder of White, and one body at a time, building up a fearsome reputation as one of O-Block's most ruthless killers. Chicago drill veteran Taker.
Alright, I guess we're getting into it now. What's this? This is like the first murder, right? For real. Yeah, we're getting into it now.
Home would tell 16 Shot and Visuals in an interview that if you hung around King Von in 2012, you simply had to accept that you would be in shootouts.
If you was hanging with Von, you had to accept everything that came with Von. You had to accept that you was gonna be in shootings, accept that it was gonna be that, and you had to be with it, you feel me, with Von.
King Von was on a mission in 2012 to get revenge for the friends that he had lost to the gang war. Losing OD, Platoon and White turned him into a demon, he said. So he would spend every day in the streets of Chicago stalking his ops and broadcasting his activities on Twitter for the whole world to see. On September the 6th, 2012, Von would get arrested, even taking selfies for Twitter inside of the cop car. He would post pictures of him and his partner in crime, T-Roy, dubbing themselves the O-Block Savages. In fact, after posting one picture together, one woman from O-Block even suggested that Von and T-Roy stop being photographed.
Yo, they look so alike though. Cause they're supposed to be Von and this T-Roy, right? She said O-Block, King Von, and T-Roy. October 12, O-Block Nino recommends they stop taking pictures together due to their reputations as killers. It's right here, right? Baby Boy and King Von gotta stop taking pictures together. The ops might show. Cops, I guess. These they two hitters. But then again, like, you tweeting that confirming it too, and the ops could show the cops this, so you should have just keep your mouth shut and not involve yourself in other people's business, for real.
Together in case somebody sends it to the police. Von would tweet how him and T-Roy's names were ringing in the streets and that people were praising them for doing their thing, regularly using this as a catchphrase to refer to his drilling, tweeting warnings to the ops that he's about to go on their block and do his thingy thing, telling them that they have 2 hours to clear.
His thingy thing, he didn't say that. He really said, he said, I'm about to go on the block and do my thingy thing, and y'all give me 2 hours. So on site, I'm gonna blast, alright.
The streets and promising to blast them on sight. Von would even reflect on a conversation that he had had with T-Roy, saying that they can't die soon because they know they're going to hell for all the bad things they had done in the streets. Von would even openly tweet about shooting up Dunbar High School around this time. And unsurprisingly, he would continue to be in the eyes of the law, being picked up in October for battery. But little did the police know just how serious Von's crimes were about to get in the coming weeks. On the 13th of October 2012, Von tweeted that he is about to pop these pills and spaz out on somebody, expressing frustration that he hasn't taken anybody down for a while and saying that he's getting dry. Perhaps a tweet with a double meaning that could refer to sex or murder. That very same day, Von would tweet that his ops party tonight is getting cancelled. Later, Von is tweeting asking for somebody to come and get him. And 30 minutes later, Von tweets simply, "Huh," followed by 45 Glock me. That very night of October the 13th, 2012, Modell, that same teen who had found the body of his cousin King Doc dead just 6 months before, would be walking down the street with another one of his cousins on their way to meet a girl, when just before 9:30 p.m, somebody approached them on foot, opening fire. Modell would be shot in the chest and later pronounced dead in hospital. No one was ever charged with this murder or attempted murder, but many years later, police documents would be released revealing that King Von himself was positively identified by a witness as the shooter, with T. Roy apparently at the scene too. This meant that King Von was the prime suspect in the murder. And not only that, but King Von would tweet immediately after the killing. Now, it's important to remember that Twitter timestamps run on Universal Coordinated Time. That's the same as UK time, and that's where I'm reading these tweets from, which is 6 hours ahead of Chicago time. So for me to get the exact time of a tweet that was made by King Von or KI or somebody else in Chicago, I have to take the time that it shows on Twitter and minus 6.
This is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, the level of detective work this guy went into, bro. This man went in deep. He went in real deep. For real. Look at this, bro.
Telling you this because Modell was shot around 9:30 p.m. That means that King Von tweeted who died about 17 minutes after the murder of Modell took place. And that tweet was followed by yet another one reading, "It's not safe around our way," which came less than an hour after the shooting. And Von's "who died" tweet would provoke responses from somebody who even knew Modell, with Von saying that the dead person is somebody that they know. In addition to that exchange...
Yeah, for real though. That's real self-snitching. Like, you real self-snitching, bro. You dry snitching like crazy, bro. Like, what? Like, why would you do this? Why would you... But then again, too, you know, when you young and ignorant, you're not thinking about the repercussions of your actions. You're not thinking about the gravity or the extent in which it could reach. Like, you just thinking, it's just me on the block right here with these 4 or 5 ops, you know? Ain't nobody seeing this but me, my homies, and my enemies. Like, maybe 50 people tops. That's what you're thinking, but you going on an open platform that the whole world could eventually see. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy to me. Like, I would...
The female shooter from Tuckerville, KI, would end up getting arrested not long after this for apparently shooting indiscriminately into O-Block, hoping to kill anybody in retaliation for Modell. None of this seemed to bother King Von, however, as he clearly got a lot of satisfaction out of having seemingly killed again. The day after the murder of Modell, Von would tweet that him and T-Roy have a problem and that they can't stop doing their thingy thing. Von would tweet that the streets are in trouble when he's coming, and he would brush off the cops' attempts to arrest him. In fact, only 2 days after the killing, he would get into an argument with a well-known Tuckerville GD known as Wooski on Twitter. Wooski had inferred that he had been out looking to catch Von that day, asking him where they were at, with Von leaving a heartless reply saying that he was getting t-shirts made for Modell's funeral. Unsurprisingly, Von would find himself on the radar of the police following the murder of Modell, getting picked up for unlawful possession of a firearm and being questioned in October 2012, with Von later tweeting that the cops grabbed him and warned him to be careful. Apparently the cops even told Von that when they question their ops, they all talk about him and T-Roy, suggesting that their names are feared in the streets. Von would even tweet after that his own mother was beginning to hear the rumours about his violent behaviour in the streets and she was trying to put him on punishment. But Von wasn't deterred and he kept using Twitter to increase his reputation as a killer. The following month, Von would be sending unprovoked Twitter ats at Wooski asking if he knew who killed Modell, provoking responses from numerous ops who wanted to see Von dead, including Wooski and KI. And to me, this is where we see King Von really beginning to take pleasure in killing. For years to come, he would tweet mocking Modell, saying it's messed up what happened to him and that he's a straight sucker. It's this sort of behaviour where I believe that Von crosses the line from a normal gangbanger killing to survive to a full-blown serial killer who is taking the lives of others systemically for his own personal gratification.
But I mean, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, bro. Like for real. You know somebody trying to kill you. You just seen them kill your homie. They kill your cousin. They kill your brother. Or like their friends kill your brother. And this going on for years, bro. And then you got one. Like you got one of them. Like pop. I'm not condoning that though. But how you think he feel, bro? Like you think it's just like, oh, he just like laughing at it? Like, it's funny? Nah, bro. It's like, yo, I got revenge for all these people who done caused me pain, you know what I mean? Like, that's probably what it is that's going on. I don't think he's just searching out there for, or was searching out there for some new, like, comical experience, you know what I mean?
At this point, Von has already satisfied the conditions of being a serial killer, having allegedly killed more than 3 people in different locations with large periods of time in between the killings. And his tweets express a clear tendency to take pleasure in killing and a desire to show the world what he's doing. In a way, King Von's purpose in life at this point in time wasn't just revenge and murder for sport. It was about doing these crimes and giving the world clues about what he had done. And as the story goes on, you'll see King Von constantly hint towards his crimes on social media, in his music, and even on television. But now, the pattern had emerged, and Von clearly had a thirst for blood. He was becoming a talented shooter and not facing any consequences for these crimes. And so, in the coming months, Von would be rumoured to have been connected to at least 3 more murders, with the police only catching up to him when it was too late. In late 2012, Von was earning a reputation as a feared shooter in the Chicago gang wars, something he would be more than happy to broadcast to the world. Von would be seen in clips posted to social media, sliding in cars with his partner in crime T-Roy and others, throwing up gang signs and saying that they're smoking Tuka.
Yeah. Look.
Zico. Both of the Shadels.
And he'd be seen with his boys mobbing deep in trap houses. And Von would even broadcast his activities rolling with the gang to the local store. Von was surprisingly open about his gangbanging life on social media, and he would be particularly active on Twitter during these violent months. He would tweet openly that he was planning to shoot at random people in traffic. He would tweet that he is...
How you say that? How you say that?
Months. He would tweet...
He said, and traffic with it, folks. And then with no plans, BD. I'm just starting to shoot at people. Alright, man.
Openly that he was planning to shoot at random people in traffic. He would tweet that he is STLK, or a St. Lawrence Killer, and interestingly, around these times, on the 18th of October 2012, O-Block native Chief Keef would release his hit song Love Sosa, a legendary Chicago drill anthem with lyrics about killing people for disrespecting O-Block. At this point in 2012, Chief Keef had...
Yo, that song blew up, bro. Like, blew up. Very far, very fast.
Become a global rap star off the back of his single I Don't Like, which was given an all-star remix by Kanye West, and ended up landing at number 73 on the Billboard charts.
Yeah, that one too. Chief Keef was killing around this time. I remember that.
That song had lyrics about the gang wars in Chicago and lives being lost, and Chief Keef's music was becoming legendary for painting a picture of reality on Chicago's most dangerous block. Of course, who could forget Chief Keef's classic anthem 300, a song with lines all about the young'uns on his block. He would continue to be prolific posting on Twitter. He would tweet that he was on the block with his gun in the early hours of the morning, just the day after the murder of Malcolm, and tweeting that all of the things that people are hearing about are him. He's the one responsible. He would tweet saying that he's killed so many ops that he doesn't have any more feelings. He'd also tweet that it's all fun and games until somebody you know is no longer breathing. And he would tweet saying that he did all of this on parole and just wait until he gets off, with a demon emoji. And in another deleted tweet that was apparently reposted by somebody else, Von openly tweeted saying that he wanted to go on an all-out killing spree. However, King Von's crime spree would ultimately be cut short on prom night of all nights. Von would be pictured holding a gun at O-Block in his suit in the hours before prom, and he would even tweet warning people not to try him while he's dressed in his suit. Von would then end up doing a shooting in his prom suit with witnesses describing his outfit, ultimately leading to his arrest. Von's last tweet would be on June the 7th, 2014, the ominous statement, "Loose screws get nailed." He would end up being arrested on firearms charges on prom night, and then the following month, on the 22nd of July 2014, Von's accomplice in the murder of Malcolm Stuckey, Big Mike, ended up getting charged with murder and being taken in for questioning by the police. Then, 2 days later, on July the 24th, 2014, King Von, already in jail, would be charged with 1 count of first-degree murder for the killing of Malcolm Stuckey and 2 counts of attempted murder for the other 2 people shot in that incident. Von's arrest for this crime would attract significant media coverage, and he would remain in jail awaiting trial from June 2014 to December 2017. And during that time, his people would tweet from his Twitter account saying that they missed him, asking for visitors to come see him on his birthday, and posting clips and pictures of him in jail during his visits.
Let's go.
Yes! You lying. No, I'm not. You got the money from Mobile? No, it's still a whole car.
Ugly.
It's nice to see somebody still able to smile, and like no matter what kind of circumstance they in though, cause that can't be easy, bro. Like thugging out like that can't be easy and still wear a smile, bro. I like that. Or maybe it just speaks to how insane somebody could be. Like, I don't know, but
while Von was in jail, he would raise hell, apparently helping to start a huge fire on the wing in April 2017. He would constantly get into fights with his ops, apparently never turning down confrontations.
That's why I can say Von had over 20 fights in that. He was. He talk about jail. He talk about that shit like it's a rite of passage. Like every was a street like him. He was like jail was coming. Yeah, that's why he was always in that, because he never cared about jail. That's how he was able to be the type of he was in the streets. Because some of these savages, like, and you supposed to do shit with that in the back of your mind, like knowing, like, man, go south, go to jail. Well, shorty sliding up on. Like, the police don't even exist. He just smoke you broad day.
Von would remain in jail for an extended period of time, around 3.5 years in total. And during his time in jail, he picked up the nickname Grandson, apparently for his resemblance in image as well as temperament to the Black Disciples founder David Barksdale, also known as King David. It's obvious that King Von took a lot of inspiration from the original founder of the gang that he repped, the Black Disciples. Not only going by the name King Von, but also frequently saying David Barksdale's nickname, often ending sentences by saying, on King David.
Oh, jinx.
Also, while Von was in jail awaiting trial, the conflicts in the streets would continue to play out, and Von would eventually get the worst news imaginable. His right-hand man, T. Roy, would be shot and killed in a convenience store on Valentine's Day 2017. Von's people would post Twitter tributes memorializing his friend.
Yo, you should do Trap Lord should do a documentary on how T. Roy got killed. For real, if T. Roy and Von was so close, and you went so in depth on Von, it's only logical that you found out stuff about T. Roy that could be used in a documentary on T. Roy, right? I'll probably watch a documentary on T. Roy. A bunch of people probably would too, so I don't know, but maybe he got one coming.
And favourite shooter. And Von would later open up about the very moment that he got the news about T. Roy's death while he was in jail.
Yeah, R.I.P. T. Roy, man, that was my best friend. I got that nigga on my neck. That's how strong that shit. I got him gang banging on my neck. That's how hard we was gang banging up.
With Von saying that he completely broke down crying when he found out that his right-hand man T. Roy was gone.
I miss my dog. Before they kill my dog, I was locked up. Killed me, I broke down. I ain't cried so long. But every day, this my you know, I'm in jail. I'm fighting the murder and shit. I call it every day. It's my right-hand man. So I'm telling him like, all right, now since he go, we can tell him he getting that. Man, I'm gonna get you out, Von. I'm gonna get you out, man. Whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna get you out. I swear to God. You know, but we in the streets, you know how that shit go. So he trying to hustle, he trying to rob, all type. He doing whatever he can do. I'm gonna get you a lawyer, bro. I got you, you know. He be telling me, give me a shot. I be calling, man. Don't even worry about it, man. Just look, just you make sure you know. I mean, I'm gonna figure this shit out. Just be cool out there. I call folks. It's like.
And I mean, I guess that's like some insight into some of their lifestyle, or like the lifestyle of people like that. People who might rob you or stick you up in certain places. They probably just trying to get that money to free somebody who they love, who locked up. I mean, granted, that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse at all. But sometimes they're not even getting that money for themselves, bro. Like, and then that evens open it up even further. They probably getting that money to feed some kids, bro. You know what I mean? So, man, it's just like life is full of so many unfair situations. It's just, it is what it is, though, you know?
Like, this on like Valentine's Day, you see what I'm saying? I call my mama back. And she crying and shit. Mama, what the f you crying for? You good? You know what I'm saying? Ooh, they shot T-Roy. T-Roy got... Oh, what? Ooh, what? Oh, look at the phone. You know how that so you in jail, you can tell. Hold on, what? Alright. Now we calling him. What's going on? He got hit once, some shit. Oh, damn. What the f going on out there? I'm T-Roy got shot. Look, this is the thing. Y'all don't know T-Roy. Y'all gotta leave our history of T-Roy. Y'all don't know. T-Roy got to go further. That's T-Roy. That's T-Roy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know T-Roy like I know T-Roy. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear he gets shot on, he don't want to talk to me like, don't be lacking, don't be, you know? He was on me, he used to be on each other, you know what I'm saying? Because me and him, we back to back. That's my boy, you know what I'm saying? Folks got shot, I said, hold on. I said, the streets, hold on. Who got shot? Who? Nah, he a gangster. He got shot before. He a gangster.
Nah, but is it that he's smiling right now, like talking about his dead homie, or is it just the diamonds, like the grill making it look like he's smiling? Which one you think it is?
Folks ain't make it on phone them out. I play it out, you know me. You know you gotta play it out. You in jail, that's all type of goofy ass right? You know these 13. All of your business on King David, I walk it off. I'm just walking around in circles on the deck, you know. And they put their arm around me. When I'm like, damn, you good, bro? You good? What's wrong with you, Vaughn? Yeah, I'm good. Ooh, what's wrong? You just got a phone, man. I'm good, you know. They what happened? I mean, they just killed T-Roy. Ooh, he what? I'm T-Roy. They just killed T-Roy. Oh, I got to break it down on King David. I couldn't help it. They hugging me. These some real. You know what I'm saying? We grown ass men. Folks grab me to hold me. Get the there, you gonna be alright, but you gonna be alright. Oh, hold on, boy, that's my best friend, boy. Somebody just killed my best friend while I'm in jail. I mean, that better go crazy. Man.
That must be real hard to deal with, though. Like, if you try to put yourself in that shoes, like, if you live in that life and the one person who is sticking by you, and you in a position where you can't help, that's almost like I mean, in any situation, just picture yourself, like, I don't know, in any situation with somebody who you know and love and have been through a lot with, and you tied up and you watching the worst happen to them, and you can't stop it no matter what. You can't move, you can't budge, you can't get to them in time. You can't help them. You can't call out to them to warn them. But you right there like a fly on the wall, seeing it all or something. Like, that's real hard to deal with, for real.
Don't know what's going on. I'm in that. Who the y'all? I'm that mad on. Oh, yeah, I'm in that. Nah, not my best friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that if he get got. There ain't a lot of hope for a lot of, because he be. Y'all know how folks see his man, T-Roy. Oh, so T-Roy. Oh, let me see who up. The guys is looking like, ooh, this preaching on. Oh, don't trip, you know. Y'all know this that street. The street watching me like that. This about the. I know, yeah, this the street. I better pay attention. I ain't gonna keep doing it. This don't supposed to be for free.
Von would take T-Roy's death very seriously. Even after becoming a famous rapper, he would threaten to kill trolls who would DM him mocking T-Roy on his birthday.
Fuck how you feel? You a shorty on, oh, I'll kill you. Yo, as a little boy, I'll choke you out my motherfucking hands and beat the shit out you. And then that shit fool you, boy. I'll drop my motherfucking location on you. Will pull up, I'll kill you for real, man. Yo, ass HFE Larry. Yo, ass a goofy, man. Yo, ass is a bitch, boy. Stop fucking playing me. Go play with somebody else, bro. I'll fuck you up for real. I don't even play like that, gang.
For real.
Despite spending 3.5 years in jail, eventually Von would finally face trial for the murder of Malcolm Stuckey. Von's family tweeted from his Twitter account in November 2017 that they had been attending his trial at court. And despite what was originally thought to be a clear-cut case, Von's co-defendant would end up implicating himself and Von in the crime in an attempt to secure a deal with prosecutors, but ultimately backing out of that deal at the last minute, leaving prosecutors scrambling for any evidence that would actually implicate Von in the murder. Allegedly, eyewitnesses who saw Von that night failed to testify, and King Von would even later rap about the situation on the track What's Next, saying that they killed the only witness and that Big Mike was the only one who spoke. This turn of events would see King Von being acquitted of all charges due to lack of evidence.
As
Big
it
Mike
usually
himself
go.
Going down for 16 years, plus an extra 12.
Dang, plus 12, 16 and 12, that's 28, bro. What? That's some people's whole life. Some people ain't even make it to 28, bro.
For backing out of a deal with prosecutors, so a total of 28 years. After this, King Von would be a free man once again, beating a body and returning to the streets of Chicago with his freedom and a clean slate. The family of Malcolm Stuckey would later admonish Von on social media for getting away with this gruesome murder and going on to become a rapper. But, as we'll soon learn, Von had zero shame about the things that he had done in the streets. In fact, he would wear the badge of a killer who beat a body with pride. And after killing an alleged 7 people in total, when Von got out of jail, it would be time for a new beginning, as the newly free King Von would take all of his stories from being a killer on the streets of Chicago and put them into songs, becoming a Chicago...
Again, yo, my apologies, but the music, bro, like I keep noticing the background music. Like, when did it change to this? It's like a somber kind of, like, the information I'm giving you now is, it's not too hype, it's not sad, but it's serious. You should be, you know, like, taking it in. I don't know if this is the artist in me, but like, I'm just hearing everything, you know?
Drill rapper with so much credibility as a gangster, his music simply could not be ignored. And soon, all over Chicago and around the world, Von's name would be ringing as people would begin to discover what appeared to be the realest gangster rapper who ever lived. After being acquitted of all charges in the murder of Malcolm Stuckey, King Von would walk out of jail a free man once again around the 6th of December 2017, being seen walking fresh out of the gates on social media. Von would also return to Twitter as well as the streets, telling 16 Shot and Visuals that his friend E-Dog from O-Block picked him up and the first thing they did was go and buy a gun.
I want a block. Who can give me E-Dog? I want a block. I got some, I got a gun, so test me before they gonna kill me.
At the time of his release, Von wasn't yet a rapper. It's unclear if Von ever really had aspirations of transitioning.
I don't think he did. I don't think he even thought he would live that long. Like, I don't think he had any concept of, yo, I'm gonna be a rapper one day.
From shooter to rapper. On the one hand, there's old tweets where he perhaps jokingly said that him and T-Roy had planned to release music, but nothing ever materialized. And on the other hand, he had also tweeted that if he ever starts rapping, you should kill the person closest to you, because something ain't right. So it's safe to say...
Wait, what? Huh. That's crazy, though.
It's unclear if Von ever really had aspirations of transitioning from shooter to rapper. On the one hand, there's old tweets where he perhaps jokingly said that...
March 21st, 2014. And you know what? Like, I remember in 2014, I don't know why, but for some reason that year, I requested... like all my tweets, because you could do that on Twitter. I don't know if you still can, but at a certain point, well, in 2014, I requested my tweets in order to delete them all, and I deleted, I think, all of my tweets before 2014, because I joined Twitter like 2011, and I remember I was living in Trinidad at the time. And I was progressing a little bit in the art world, and I was like going through some of my stuff, you know what I mean, like your posts, and I ended up on Twitter, and I saw some of the stuff I was tweeting when I was like a little kid. I was like, bro, it's mad immature, bro. I was definitely a child when I joined Twitter. I had like the dumbest tweets, bro, like the dumbest tweets about absolutely nothing. So I requested all my tweets before 2014 and just deleted like 3 years worth of them.
Him and T-Roy had planned to release music, but nothing ever materialized. On the other hand, he had also tweeted that if he ever starts rapping, you should kill the person closest to you, because something
when
ain't
he
right.
said June 5th in the same year, March, April, May, June.
If he ever starts rapping, you should kill the person closest to you, because something ain't right. So it's safe to say that at least initially, Von's plans were not music. At least not for himself. Because one person who hadn't forgotten Von during his long 3.5 years in jail was his childhood friend and Chicago rap superstar Lil Durk, who had tweeted his support for Von whilst he was still in jail fighting his...
One moment.
charges and apparently calling him regularly.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep him right here.
For a lawyer. Durk would welcome Von home from jail with open arms, with Von actually revealing later that his friendship with Durk had initially had an ulterior motive, and that at first he was just planning to hang around Durk and rob people that he knew just to get himself to $100,000.
I wasn't no rapper, so.
What? Yo, that's crazy.
It wasn't none of that rapping shit. I'm thinking like, I just need to get 100,000. I'm gonna be decent. I'm gonna rob this, and I'm trying to rob this other. And this is what I was thinking in jail when I was, before I got to jail, talk to your homie in jail.
Oh,
they say, what you gonna do? I say, I'm gonna go around Durk, and I'm just gonna catch me. I'm gonna go around Durk, and I'm gonna catch me like 2-3 more. You know what I'm saying? And Durk, I ain't gonna let him know because he gonna try to stop me.
After coming home from jail, music was the last thing on King Von's mind. He just wanted to get money and flex his newfound freedom. He would be seen fresh home, posing in new outfits on Instagram, with pictures celebrating his freedom, attracting threats from his enemies like FBG Cash. But it seemed that Von's friends would be looking out for him, and no one was looking out for Von more during this time than Lil Durk, who would invite Von into his life and entourage as he continued his rise as one of Chicago's most promising rappers. Durk was working on his 2018 mixtape Just Cause Y'all Waited, and that tape featured the classic track Durky-O Crazy. Soon after getting out of jail, Von would be sitting in the back of Durk's car previewing this future classic before it was released. Perhaps the reason that Durk wanted to play Von this track is because the song itself references Von's case, with Durk rapping that a witness went missing and now Von is coming home. Once again, Von's real life of crime was providing inspiration for Chicago's biggest rappers. Clearly Durk was inspired by the return of his newly freed hitter and would continue spending time with him. Later that day, in the same Instagram Live, King Von would explain to Durk how he grew his hair in jail just to keep himself warm, and explaining just how painful the shackles were that he was forced to wear whilst in solitary confinement.
It was cold them nights. It was cold them nights. It was cold them great. I'm under that blanket. Ooh, it was ugly. And you still got that scar on it. Look for the thing. Shackles, them killing.
Going to court?
In the hole, you gotta wear shackles.
Oh, no?
Man, everything.
Every day?
Every time you come out? Oh. Yeah, every day. You gotta get on the phone, man.
This when you walk, people this.
Right. No, it'd be the back of my shit, because my ankle's little as hell. I'm full on. Look, I got that peeling on.
Von would seemingly spend Christmas 2017 with Durk too, with them being seen together on social media, listening to classic Chicago drill anthems by L.A. Capone. Moving into 2018, Von started off in classic Savage mode, posting on social media, toting guns, and declaring his desire to bring war to his ops. He had been seen on clips on social media, walking through O-Block and showing the world that he was still in these streets.
This man was not playing, y'all. Was not playing at all. He really was about this, sir.
Untouched even after all of the people he had allegedly killed, even speculating on who was in the comments on these lives, his ops or the cops.
You know I'm with that block. Hey, y'all in the house on home. I don't be knowing if these are fans or folks now. Folks knocking like fans.
As January went on, Von would continue to flex his muscles on social media, and he would be seen listening to NBA Youngboy of all people, whilst chilling with O-Block native Munna Duke and telling followers that they were smoking their dead ops.
A lot of your dead mans. Phone them. Tuka man, goddamn it, Brick man, Kobe man. And we strapped up.
Clearly, Von was still in the streets initially. After enjoying some time in Atlanta with Lil Durk, once he'd returned to Chicago in February, he'd quickly find himself in trouble, tweeting that he was riding around with a gun and weed. Then he would end up getting arrested at O-Block on February the 14th, 2018, the one-year anniversary of T-Roy's death. With this arrest taking place soon after he tweeted that he was in O-Block and armed on the anniversary of T-Roy's murder. Von would be arrested on charges of shooting and bodily harm, with cops claiming that
I mean, if I don't tell you right off the bat, yo, bro, I got feds watching me, I got police on my Twitter or on my IG, then like I don't know, you probably never will like get it, cause who else, bro? How else, bro? You know what I mean?
He ran from them and threw a gun, battering them in the process of the arrest, with the body cam footage of this arrest later becoming public, which showed a menacing King Von telling the police with pride that he just beat a body and 2 attempted murders.
So this is the gentleman we were chasing, but on video they went back, went under the cars where we think he ditched it, got in the vehicle, we stopped the vehicle, get him out, battery, fight with that, vehicle takes off on us when we got this, and then we got about 50 people around us. So what happened? You're gonna go to jail for battery to a police officer.
Why it?
Me?
Where?
And you also.
Where at?
Thank you very much. We'll take it then.
I've been cuffed since I was in the cops. Can I go home? It's Valentine's Day.
You got the plate number since you got it on tape?
This man say, "Can I go home? It's Valentine's Day." Boy, you tripping? They not finna let you go home?
Oh, you don't have that. Where's the rest of it? All right. No, but I know the pen ready.
Come on, finish.
Switch them up.
2 N's, 2 T's.
Watch it, because he's gonna. You lit her?
Hey, Vaughn. You ain't want to be on here now. I live in Atlanta.
What?
You got a middle?
Yeah, why? You guys want it?
How about date of birth?
And she was here the whole time videotaping.
94.
Oh, well, for majority, but not when we got him out of the car.
94, he born the same year as me, yo. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I cuffed him this way, because we're.
Cause y'all let me go to my Valentine's Day.
You talk going to jail.
I just gotta do. You don't know me, that's what I'm saying.
What were you locked up for?
A body into a too.
I'm sorry?
You want it, you're gonna have it.
You're gonna want to cuff him back.
Yeah.
So,
Come on, by my
he's
car,
all
man.
kinds of fun.
Let go.
Let go. We got you.
Let go, stupid man.
No, we got you.
He said, "Let go, stupid man." Yo, he was real to this, bro. He wasn't playing.
Let go.
Hey, we got it from here.
All right. You got locked up over here recently?
No, hell no.
What'd you locked up at?
Huh? I got it. G, I beat my case. I was charged with the person we murdered.
You on video right now, man.
It's cool.
Put your hands behind your back.
So what I'm getting charged with right now? Put that on video.
We're gonna figure it out, dude.
But now I'm not under arrest.
Yes, you are.
For what?
Probably trespass over here.
Oh, yeah.
And hitting a guy.
Hitting who? Everybody got fur hood.
Are you injured? Do you need an ambulance? Does he batter you? Okay, no problem.
He laughed, yo. I probably would have laughed too. He said, "Do you need an ambulance?" Yo, did he batter you? Yo, that's crazy, bro. Like you hear their line of questioning, bro. Like,
Thank you.
All right. Where's your coat, man?
He asked him, man. The super cop.
Where's his coat?
The super cop.
It's gone?
After the arrest, a furious-looking King Von mugshot circulated online, but Von would be out within just a couple of days, tweeting that he believes that the cops have it out for him because he escaped those murder charges, and he would boast that he would never let them get him.
Nah, bro, it's because you tweeting stupid, bro. Like, what you say? He said, I don't like the fact that they... What? I do not like... Let me let I drive by. He said, I do not like that the fact that they hated. They hated the fact that I escaped it. Yo, what? Yo. Never let them get me, never let them pull. Yo, bro.
It's gone?
In just a couple of days, tweeting that he believes that the cops have it out for him because he escaped those murder charges, and he would boast that he would never let them get him. Clearly, King Von wasn't ready to permanently move on from his life as an O-Block hitter, and he would still be going live on O-Block in March 2018, mocking their dead ops.
Right, who got Tuka Man? That's what we need. Hurry to Tuka Man! My show got Trent, Poppy, Mayan. I can't be in no room without smelling Tuka. I gotta at least smell it for them just to know like Tuka's still around. And love and memory of Tuka.
But Von would also continue to be seen hanging out closely with Lil Durk, seemingly making regular trips to spend time with the rapper in Atlanta. At a certain point, Von and Durk would be reunited with another friend and feared Chicago shooter, THF Bezu, with Bezu, just like Von, beating a 2014 murder charge for a shooting that occurred in 2009. Lil Durk was now rolling with 2 certified Chicago shooters on his team. But the plan wasn't to shoot. Durk planned instead to transform these hardened street figures into rap superstars. The realest rappers who had ever rapped, with the realest backstories to back it up. Von would post pictures in the studio with Durk, saying that he isn't going back to his old ways, and hinting to an upcoming career in the rap game. Since beating his murder case and coming home, Von had the perfect backstory to kickstart his music career too. THF Bezu had essentially been through the very same situation, so Von and Bezu would be paired up and placed into a studio where they would record a song all about their shared experience beating real-life murder charges, something that Von and Bezu would open up about in a 16-shot interview.
Yo, thank you for watching this part of my reaction video. Stay tuned for part 2.